trying to enact policies that help or hinder our local businesses? Are you actively trying to enact policies to help our local law enforcement officers do their job of protecting the peace of our community? From everything that I've seen in this town, the answer to these questions is no. I'd love to be proven otherwise. Throughout my life, I have come to realize Throughout my life, I have come to realize that what we walk in agreement with will come to be. Through my eyes, it looks as if our community has come into agreement with vagrancy, disrespect, and unsound policies. I'd love to see a shift. We should strive to walk in agreement with truth, justice, accountability, and most of all, safety for our citizens. I'm sick and tired of the obvious disregard of basic human decency that abounds in our community. How can anyone in their right mind walk down the streets of Shelton and feel as if everything is a-okay? Seriously, how can that be? It makes me wonder who in the heck is being paid to keep our community on this track? What are the benefits of allowing this malignant behavior to continue? For us tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, what are we to do? The only thing that I know to do is, number one, pray. We need Jesus in this town, this county, and this state. Number two, come to settings such as this and voice our concerns. And number three, get loud about paying attention to our local elections. If y'all can't do what is right for the citizens of this city, it's time for you to go. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Steve Jewett.
My name's Dean's turn.
Morning. That's a hard act to follow right there. Thank you. Hope you guys can listen to that really and not even listen, but hear. Here a few weeks ago, wife and I had our anniversary. We went out on the water, enjoyed ourselves, and to get to the water, we were at the yacht club. And if y'all remember back a few years ago, you could actually take your car and drive out onto the yacht club, you know, onto the landing and go down and get in your boat. Now that's blocked off, cameras are everywhere, and there's razor wire about. Why do we have to have razor wire, you ask yourself? I wonder if it's the yacht club campground that we have going on, that many a parcel, which was given to you, is on city property. Vagrants abound, garbage, environmental disaster, you know, 2,500 5-gallon buckets of raw sewage going into our Oakland Bay every year. These things, even though I say them, they don't disappear, they don't go away. They're true, check your facts. So we have to take a look at this and see what we can do as a group of individuals. And the 4 strong members, the conservative members of our council, we need to vote and we need to pass and we need to enforce what we need to enforce to take care of our community, our businesses, and our people. That's what we need to do. Brewer Park was cleaned up, but then it gets dirty again. Then it cleans up, then it gets dirty again. How much money does that cost us to do? Our sidewalks are in upheavals. Local businesses have to buy their own paint to stripe the curbs and or the parking to make your town look beautiful. And this is your town as well as it is mine. So we all need to work together on this town. The razor wires are really got me, but coming back into town, it was kind of like the walk of shame. You know, there was garbage, there was litter, there was chopped up bikes, there was, you know, garbage in the creeks. I mean, it was really disappointing to come off the water from Gig Harbor and then see that. It kind of makes your heart hurt. I know Sheridan talked about it once, coming in when it's not at nighttime and there's fires and stuff going up on the hill. I wouldn't stop here and get gas. I've got a business here. And it's right on the major thoroughfare, so it's nice to have people drive through town. We were pretty busy yesterday with people going through with the holiday, because it's a main thoroughfare. We need to embrace our town and what we have and what it can be. Okay, we need to head towards that. Miguel said, we need to look to the future. If what we're doing in the past doesn't work, then let's change it. That's probably not what he meant, but you know what? We need to go down that direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have, Mr. Mayor. There's no one on Zoom.
All right. We have a presentation tonight.
Mayor.
I'm sorry. Oh, Monty, yes.
Mr.
Can you sign in, Monty, also?
Just a quick little thing, I was earlier this morning, I was talking to the commissioners. And what I have is, what we have is, we have an opportunity, they have $3.4 million in road funds that they can use for trails. Here in Shelton to connect Bay Shore to the marina. And what we do is we get everybody off of the side of the road of the Bay Shore, State Route 3 between Bay Shore and the marina. And this is awesome. And Mark Ziegler was there years ago, about 10 or 12 years ago, when we spoke with the Navy, and the Navy said they would grant us permission for an easement to connect us. Okay, so I'm just saying, Randy Netherland and Mark Ziegler, Randy said that he was gonna be talking to Mark Ziegler about this. And he told me it was all right for me to tell the Squaxin tribe that they were having a conversation. And so Cameron Henry, who's in this Squaxin Tribal Council, he said, oh, he wants to be involved in this. So what Randy Netherland said is that what we need to do is put together a group, a work group, so that we can bring something to him as a commissioner. So with respect to you guys, I would love to talk to Jordan. So this next Monday is their first meeting of the month. I'd like to be able to go to them and ask them, yeah, how do we go about doing this? Because this is way over my head. Okay, so Eric, sir, you've got family that knows what's going on. Mark's been here for 20 years. I've been looking, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I'm way over my head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll work on that with Mark. But looking at a committee.
I'll talk to you later. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we have a presentation tonight from the Chamber of Commerce, CEO Deidre Peterson is here for give us some information.
Mayor, members, I have a brief update for you for the chamber for the second quarter. Looking at the visitor services of the city and park funds. The chamber receives funds from the city as well as the county lodging tax and have partners with Forest Service and Park Service to provide visitor services throughout the south end of the county. So we're gonna give you a quick update on second quarter. I think we have some slides.
Close to being on it.
So this report will cover April through June, so as we're just kind of ramping up the tourism season, the next report that I get will kind of give you the end of our peak season, so you can see how it. So there you can see a photo of the caboose open on Forest Festival Parade Day, parade attendance downtown, and that's something I'll talk about a little bit later. So on the next slide there, you'll be able to see our visitor counts, that is looking at overall, between the chamber office and the caboose and the sport, the passes and maps that we sell, as well as the visitors and phone calls that are served. And you'll see some trends that we've seen there. Discover annual passes and Forest annual passes continue to increase. And we're seeing more people opting for year-round passes than day passes, which is great news, because hopefully that means they're visiting us more frequently and finding more things to do in the area. Specialty maps are continuing to perform well. And although we've seen a drop in foot traffic and fewer calls, we've seen stronger engagement per visitor. So what we're seeing is larger groups sending one person in to get the information that they need, rather than an entire group coming in to visit. with the exception of the caboose, where we continue to see families, because kids, especially boys, are very excited. There's a bathroom in the train. And it continues to be a big highlight for our visitors in downtown. Supply limitations from Park Service and Forest Service have continued to be a real stressor for us. If we don't have the inventory, we can't sell that. So we're continuing to work with our partners to make sure that we're able to restock because demand continues to be high. And we're working with the forest rangers to do things like bear canister drop-offs, because there's very few locations you can do that around the entire loop. So that creates an opportunity for us to bring visitors in, provide them with information, and hopefully keep them in our area a little longer. On the next slide, you'll just see a brief overview of the Facebook pages we manage. One specifically is the Town Visitor Center page. And while that tends to focus on food sport in the National Forest, again, that's our hope to get people here. And when they're either passing through on their way to or from, it gives us an opportunity to have them spending their money here at Shelter. And you'll see the report reach for the chamber page is about 25,000, but just 2,000 on the Town Visitor Center page. And on the next page, the Shelton Caboose, which as you can see there, she's looking shiny. We saw in-state visitors from Tacoma, Olympia, Seattle, Allen Forks, Belfair, and of course residents within Shelton. But we also saw several folks from out of state, so California, Philadelphia, and Rhode Island during the second quarter. And the Caboose, we made an effort this year again to make sure that beyond our contracted hours with the city and the county, whenever possible, if there's a special event that's drawing folks to town, that we are able to open that up. And so we flex our hours with staff or with volunteers to make sure someone is in there. So I took the Forest Festival shift and Katie took the Art Walk shift to make sure that we're able to grab folks that are coming into town, and downtown car show is another one during second quarter. Next page there, we'll just see our Google landing page, so you can see the number of folks searching for that. Number one search that brings them to the Caboose is where's the visitor center, makes sense. We continue to have high engagement and great reviews on that page. And on the next page, quick update. You haven't seen her lately. She's looking a lot more updated. So the carpet that had been in there since I was a child has now been replaced. And we were lucky to get some recommendations from local contractor about the type of material we should use, and had another local contractor be able to install it for us at their cost. So we were able to really stretch our dollars, because maintenance is not part of our visitor services, but it absolutely affects our guest experience. So you'll see in there brand new floors that are LVT throughout, much easier to keep clean. They look a lot better. We got a new paint job, new lighting fixtures, redid the bathroom, and you'll see the signage. You can see two of them in that picture. And Mark, if you go to the next slide, you'll see a few more examples. We worked with Explore the Canal and Rachel Hansen at Northwest Event Organizers to create some self-guided info boards. So the site you're seeing here is timber history. We also have some on railroad history. So they're interchangeable. We can move them throughout the year. And they're placed, there are 7 of them throughout the Caboose, featuring moments from our history as an icon for the logging industry of the area. And of course, we have the brochures and the topographical map, which business pretty everyone wants to touch. She just won't get down pretty quickly. But there's also a new kiosk, which you'll see there in the main picture on the right hand side, that has the Wildside app on it. So that is the county's progressive app. What that means is the progressive app, you can download it to your phone, but you don't have to. You can either use it in a kiosk or tablet form at the local business, or you can just go online to Explore the Canal and navigate through this Wildside app. So if you're looking for hiking trails, if you're looking for restaurants, as you direct deep dive, you can look at where's the lodging in Shelton specifically, what does retail look like? And so we work really closely with Rachel to make sure those entries are updated. Jeff Slake has been a huge part of that project. And that just rolled out after almost 18 months of building a very custom app. There's a lot of information there. And what's great too is we have the capacity to grab email addresses who are downloading them, see where folks are coming from, what locations they're interacting at. And when there are things, even not great things like the Bear Gulch fire, we can put notifications on that main page, which is huge in making sure visitors have the most up-to-date information. And then the last one there is just thank you again. That's another event that we did this open at. That was for Olympus Rally. We also did Moto America. To make sure that we are capturing those folks when they are in town and really directing them to our downtown businesses, our local services, so that even if they can't find lodging here, because we continue to be limited in our lodging options. Hopefully, we are at least capturing that retail sales tax from them filling up their car, going to the grocery store, grabbing a cute souvenir, and so that's been a really important tactic for us throughout 2025. Other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions from the council.
Any questions for Deidre?
Okay.
Thank you, Deidre.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're on to our business agenda. Our first business item is an ordinance related to business licenses. Interim Finance Director Terry Schnitzer has details for us.
Tonight, we're bringing an amendment to the section 5.0 .040 relating to the business license section. And just to give you a little bit of background to this 2018 model. In 2018, the state said that we as cities who are collecting business license fees, that we need to join the business licensing system through the Department of Revenue. And so we had done that in the time we had adopted the 2018 model. And for the effective January 2019, within this model, the state also required a work group to be established. And that work group consists of the Association of Washington Cities, as well as other cities within Washington State. So they were able to establish the 2026 model, which says that, which affects our current section, that is the exemption from business license requirements, threshold exemption from 2,000 to 4,000, and this is underlined in section 1 part of your materials. And within it required any business or person whose annual value of products, gross proceeds of sales, or gross income of the business in the city is equal to or less than $4,000 and does not maintain a place of business within the city. So these will exempt those businesses. It also includes information regarding the threshold amount that will be adjusted every 4 years, as well as the CPI Bureau Consumer Price Index. So this is being brought to you now because we need to adopt this within 75 days of it going into effect, which is January 1st of 2026. So, and with that, with the recommendations, if you can, is it on the action agenda?
Thank you, Terry. Donna, I'm reading ordinance number 2032-0725.
Ordinance number 2032-0725. An ordinance of the city of Shelton, Washington, amending section 5.04.040 of the Shelton Municipal Code relating to business license.
Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move place ordinance number 2032-0725 on September 16th, 2025, council meeting action agenda.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, comments or questions?
Sure. Is 4,000 enough for micro business to survive with that level, or is there a sweet spot where we can go even a little higher to help out small businesses and micro businesses?
It's certainly up to the council. We can't make it any higher threshold. I just don't know what the effect, we won't know how this even 4,000 will affect cities' revenues until they file in 2020. Based off of this amendment. I don't anticipate a lost revenue from this. Because a lot of our smaller businesses are in the city that we collect from, and these are outside this.
I was just wondering if 4,000 was the guest level, or we can increase it a little bit more about the budgetary tax. So is that something we should look into in the next 2 weeks?
If you try, yeah, it's just, we can try and get those reports as to who's out of the city, that has less than 4,000.
Well-
Right now, they don't report if it's 2,000 or less.
So our policy already is like 15,000 a year, right, for B and O taxes. So so it's already at 15,000 that they don't have to pay. B and O, I'm not sure about the sales tax. It's 20,000, excuse me. So it's 20,000 already. So,
But this is for the life, correct?
Yes.
well, it's the license would require them to pay sales tax. They would have to report their sales tax. So they don't have to report sales tax under between 2,000 and 4,000.
They have to have a state business license regardless.
Correct, but I'm talking about the city. Okay. And then, so this would be for like somebody coming in to fix somebody's porch from Olympia. And that's the only job that they have. So what if those jobs keep coming? So if that person is here for this house and then a month later he's at this house and then a month later he's at this house, I mean, does that really come into play at all?
We need to make sure that you're not having that gross income of less than 4,000. Otherwise, they do the license. To earn their tax if they live with thousands.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, if you will, Councilman Gutierrez, were you referring to the draft ordinance that discuss businesses within the city and without the city? I guess I want a clarification because
That's it.
just within, because this threshold is for businesses that are not a brick and mortar. They're located out of the city. They're coming in and performing a function or doing business within the city, but they're not located, right? Or not addressed within the city. So you're referring to those that are located within the city?
Yeah.
Okay.
One more question. So they're still going to be regulated by the health department, like say a food truck from Tacoma comes into Shelton for an event. Somebody's still making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, so building code, health department code, L&I would still apply under these circumstances. We as in the city, may not have the threshold to review that because they don't apply for a business license, correct? So sometimes if you apply for a business license, we will check with the health department, L&I, building, fire, and do those inspections just to make sure that all the requirements are being met attached to that business license. So that wouldn't, right? They wouldn't be applying for a business license if they don't meet that $4,000 threshold. So we would not be necessarily checking those proactively.
This is mandated by the state. Makes me kind of nervous. It might be taking away business from some of our local businesses.
What we did see for groups heard from the business community. So that's the recommendation they came up with.
Anything else? Right, we have a motion and a second to place ordinance number 2032-0725 on the September 16th, 2025 council meeting action agenda. For further consideration, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Up next, a resolution to adopt the ADA transition plan for Assistant Public Works Director Aaron Nix.
Mayor, council, pleasure to be here. As you recall, last month we did a study session with regard to the ADA transition plan. What it is, in essence, is identifying obstacles within our rights of way that prevent or exclude people with disabilities from accessing within the right of way. If you recall, initially we had an estimate of about 15 linear miles of sidewalk. In reality, we have about 38 miles sidewalk. All of those sidewalks, as well as any other area within the right of way, was walked and documented. And the ADA transition plan basically identified those areas. This is all part of being in compliance with Title II of the ADA, the mandated ADA American Disabilities Act. So this is also a requirement that many of the transportation related organizations that give us money or requiring. So we did that. As you recall from that study session, the impact was $26 million. With regard to if we could fix all of the issues. That's not what you're asked to do here. You're actually asked to start, first of all, identifying them and inventorying them. This is the major process. And then identifying processes and means in which you can move forward and rectifying some of these as budget allows. You also recall we discussed at that study session that that was prior to the passage of the tax, the street tax.
Transportation benefits.
Transportation benefit, sorry. So that is now that is going to help us with this. It's fairly conservative. The timeframes that I think I told you guys is they based it on like a 20, 30 and 40 year lifetime that you can recover and get rid of those ADA compliance issues. The problem with ADA, and I will attest to this, is that and I know many engineers will, the standards change continuously. So you may be in compliant, you may be non-compliant, it just depends on what has changed. So what we've identified, like I said, $26 million worth, it's a plan. We've identified some minimal resources that we can apply to this. But our intent with this and bringing this forward is to have the council obviously review it, approve it, and this will allow us to get more grant money in the future. So I'm absolutely happy to go into greater detail, but that's the substance of what this plan is. We are now just trying to get it adopted with the desire that you put to the action agenda at your next meeting.
I think you do have a motion.
Mayor, we place resolution number 1397-0725 on the action agenda of the council meeting on September 16th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
Just wanted to say this is a step in the right direction for making Shelton a better place, walkable and livable. And it might be really expensive, but I think it's aspirational to put sidewalks everywhere and to increase property values to make Shelton a destination place where people want to come and live. And I think this is something that we should look towards. And if we can't meet that super high standard, that we should please get started and think about how we can get there as a community.
Thank you. So what are the guidelines to move forward with this? I mean, we identify the thing and then we start, or we have to like 1 year or 2 years, 5 years, we have to make this much progress.
There's no reporting requirement at this time, but I would tell you that there may be in the future. One of the things that we're working on with the consultant, we do have a little bit of additional budget left. We're trying to develop an app in which, as these things are getting corrected, it will correct it in our GIS software. It'll actually raise the scores or eliminate that piece. Very inexpensive, but we will be prepared for that if it gets to that point. That is not a requirement at this point, because the reality is every city is in this predicament. And you would end up suing every city all the time because there's just not enough money to cover all. So that's the fiscal reality of it, but no, these are issues that I agree we need to address.
It's kind of normal, the unfunded mandates that we have by the state
Absolutely.
often. All right. We have a motion and a second to place resolution number 1397-0725 on the action agenda for council meeting September 16th for the consideration. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Our next action item is Senior Planner Jason Doe says, tell us about an annexation request.
Thank you, Mayor. Council. As you recall, at your August 19th meeting, you held a public hearing to consider the annexation of the 2.5 acre piece of property vacant. It's located in our UGA. Thank you, Don. I'll miss that. I didn't even give her that crap. She's actually got it. See, she
Trying to shine on her last day.
Take credit, take credit.
Well, that even surprises me more.
When's your evaluation due?
2.5 acre piece of vacant property located just north and adjacent to city limits. It's pre-zoned neighborhood residential. August 19th, you guys held a public hearing and did the first reading of the text ordinance. Nothing has changed. I haven't received any contacts about the request, and asking you to adopt the ordinance. Incorporate that into the ordinance.
Thank you, Jason. Donna, anyone have a public comment?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, may I have a reading of ordinance number 2030-0625?
Ordinance number 2030-0625. An ordinance of the city council of the city of Shelton, Washington, annexing certain property located within the city of Shelton urban growth area into the city of Shelton corporate limit.
Thank you, Donna. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 2030-0625 and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance on behalf.
Second.
All right. Comments or questions? No? We have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 2030-0625 and authorize the mayor to sign the ordinance on the council's behalf. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jason. Right, up next is a contract award for secure fencing project. Assistant Public Works Director Aaron Nix has details for us.
Thank you again.
I almost gave him a promotion there, sorry.
Thank you again. I appreciate that. We talked about this at your last council meeting. We got some really good bids in for this project. This is for the secure fencing area that's for the vacated piece of this street that we have out there. Obviously, we talked about the low bid can about $393,000. We had gotten a grant for about $200,000, and then last year we budgeted, I think it was REIT 2 or REIT. It was a recontribution. I didn't specify which REIT, but it was a recontribution. Bottom line, you guys, is that we have adequate resources to not only the design's complete, to construct it, as well as to include, if you recall, you approved that $50,000 piece for all the new equipment and stuff that needs to come in. This is the hard infrastructure that will begin. So with approval tonight, that will allow us to award the contract and move forward with that. You'll notice the signs are already up, trying to warn people. We had to modify it a little bit. Folks were a little bit concerned that we're gonna close all of Fifth Street. No, it's just the location of Coda Grove, sorry. So we put that on, at least on that side. You did get a comment card?
Yes.
Okay. We did mail out comment card, not comment cards, just letting people know. At the last meeting, she said she didn't get one. We had just sent at that point, so.
Came in the mail next day.
So we have gotten the word out. We're really excited for this project because it's gonna help protect our officers. And it really needs to happen. So it's budgeted, the design's done. We just need you to authorize us to go to contract. So if you have questions, happy to answer.
Thank you, Aaron. Don, anyone set up a public comment?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Maybe reading resolution number 1393-0725.
Resolution number 1393-0725. A resolution of the city of Shelton, Washington, awarding the secure fencing project to Diversified Holdings Northwest LLC and authorizing the city manager to execute contract documents.
Thank you, Donna. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 1393-0725 as presented.
All right,
Second.
comments or questions? All right, we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1393-0725 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Right, another item, Aaron.
Thank you, Mayor. Lastly, we did discuss this at our last meeting. I told you that we did have a power failure here. Our uninterrupted power supply did not function. And it's an important emergency management tool that we use to basically transition from no power to our generator. It did not work Friday server because of it. This is an important infrastructure, but it's also expensive, you guys, so I'm not gonna be shy about it. Originally, we had budgeted, as I mentioned last time, $80,000 for this. We had to get some electrical design work done on that. We spent about 15, about 6,500. The actual cost for the unit and the installation was 113,000. We believe that we will probably have adequate resources to cover that. If not, there may be a supplemental budget coming your way to identify the rest of those monies, but we think we can cover it. So we're gonna try. But again, this is the area up on the second floor. Basically, what it does is it supplies 15 minutes power to the entire building till the generator kicks on. Generator is slated to kick on within 10 seconds of that happening. So we just want to have a little bit of leeway with regard to timing. The more time you need, the much more expensive it gets. Batteries, so we're upgrading the batteries. It's a very positive project. It will help us if in case this becomes an emergency management center, then have the resources and availability to continue. Also, we have 911. I know they're leaving, but we also have our police department support here. So it is an important. The current one is at least 20 years old. So it needs.
Thank you, Aaron. Donna, and was that public comment?
No, there isn't.
Can I speak on that?
Yes.
So being in the maintenance industry, kind of ironic, kind of alarming that it didn't work. So I guess the question that we want to ask is there a policy and procedure? Is there a maintenance record that we go in and we test on this? I mean, to find out that it doesn't work when there's an actual power outage, it's not the direction that we want to go when something doesn't work. So I guess maybe somebody can, Mark, maybe you can email me back or somebody in Public Works. What's our test processes? How do we know that those batteries are good? Doing telecom, we did standby power supply, so we had to go around every so often and change out those peak cell batteries, different things like that. So where are we at with that? So that now that we know this has happened, what's our next step to alleviate that? So that we're not just spending a bunch of money for a fried server. So, and we're having stuff lost. I mean, if it was a real situation, we just gotta be careful. So those are just some questions that I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind.
Yes.
We had a maintenance service agreement through my experience with the Facilities and Parks Department. They managed that service. They replaced batteries when it was necessary. That managed service ended. They would not service this equipment any longer because of its age and the cost to change out the batteries. We decided to move forward with replacement of the entire UPS service unit because the batteries and the technology just was making it, more expensive and difficult to maintain. This is a 480 volt system, comes in at 480, goes down 270, goes back up to 480 without an isolation switch on it. So you have to essentially work on it live. You can't isolate it as well. So it's a safety issue for our staff and for anybody that's servicing this equipment at the same time. I will say we've had this budgeted for a number of years. It fell off the radar a little bit, and I'll take the credit or the blame for that, whichever you want to say, because that fell within the facilities department when I was managing that department. I'm thankful that we have a public works department that's taking on this work, addressing this now. I'm going to get it back up to speed. We have a maintenance and service agreement within the contract with the new supplier. So I forget the name. Is it a Mitsubishi or is it another brand? Presidio is the contractor, yeah. So there's a maintenance and service agreement within that contract, so that's maintained for a duration of time, because obviously warranties that are included with this new equipment as well.
The other thing that I just want to quickly add is that I think I mentioned this last time, this is on state contract, so we are getting the best value based on the state pool as far as these types. So it's a very good point. You made a very good point. The reality is that we're trying to, just the batteries they're old and they need to be replaced again. So this is a right step in the right direction, and we will continue to monitor this as this is.
Thank you. May I read the resolution number 1396-0725?
Resolution number 1396-0725. A resolution of the city of Shelton, Washington, authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase services agreement number 25-015-CSA and purchase order number 25-038 for services and materials in replacing the existing uninterrupted power supply at the Civic Center.
Thank you, Donna. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 1396-0725 as presented.
All right.
Second.
Thank you.
Comments or questions?
I just want to reiterate what we said 2 weeks ago. This is super important for our first responders, before our first responders, and everything in the city depends on us when something goes wrong. And we're in a situation where we're having a lot of weather situations and we're in situations where it's happening with more frequency, so we need to be prepared, and this is a good step in making sure that we're modernizing and making sure that we are ready for any emergency. So thank you, Eric, thank you, city manager, for recognizing that we had an inadequate system and that we need to step up and be ready for the challenges that are ahead in the later in the century. So thank you.
Yeah, very important. Being a business owner myself, using Unix-based systems for the last 20 years, when you have a power surge and not properly protected, it's usually a pretty bad situation. It usually costs you 10 times as much to have that repaired. So thanks for being on top of that. All right, we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1396-0725 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It carries. Now we have resolution related to the joint paving project with Mason County. Public Works Director Jay Harris has more information.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, Jay Harris, your Public Works Director. So 2 of the hottest days this year, July 15th and 16th, we paved with Mason County up in the West Mountain View neighborhood. Got about 10 blocks done of paving. Prior to that, July 1st, I brought you a resolution. In that resolution, it set the total contract expenditure to be $150,000. So we calculated out all the quantities and we were just right on the edge near $150,000. The section of the roadway put down more asphalt, and rather than taking and not doing the final couple blocks on the last day, we spoke to our city attorney, and it ended up that the $150,000 spending threshold didn't apply to this project county, which was good. We had maps out, we had people out there, all the equipment, you know, the pavers, everything. So we moved ahead and spent more money just to finish and get to the 10 blocks. Otherwise, we would have had about 8 done. What we're looking for tonight is for you to amend the prior project authorization of $150,000 to allow the city manager to sign the final bills and everything as they come in for the project. So in terms of dollars, we did allocate $150,000 in transportation benefit district funds. We have about $20,000 in utility funds also going to the project. We think the final cost is going to be somewhere around $200,000 to $210,000. We're still raising manhole rims, putting down shoulder rock, doing some other things. So we're going to need somewhere around $30,000 to $40,000 over the $150,000 threshold. So that's what the resolution is doing tonight. We'll give them authorized to move forward to sign. The big bill came from the county. So here's the map of the streets that we did. They're the light pink. And next slide. And then so here's Madison Street and C Street looking north, and you can see the part of the far background there. And so the road, it had been about 40 years since that asphalt was put down. So it had a long service life. So the lower picture is called a tap coat. It allows the new asphalt to bind to the old asphalt. Next slide. And same, there's a before, and then on this one, that's after. So that's after the county paver laid it down. There's people that break the edges, and then the compaction equipment, the rollers go across it. So that's before shoulder rocks put down. The edges are high here. Next slide. And then there's before and after. That shows the actual pavement operation. And you can see it's pretty extensive. There's guys that run the screen on the side. They are trying to keep that thing level the whole time. And you saw the picture prior, how straight they got that. The underlying surface is going like this. These guys stand there and adjust so it's up and down, trying to keep a nice smooth line the whole way. It's a pretty hard job. There's people shoveling and such. The raking is in from my experience, I've done it before, one of the hardest parts. You do a day of raking at 95-degree heat and you're done, or shoveling in great heat, because typically it will be asphalts. So that is a transition, so you can see what the road looked like prior. And then they transitioned into the good asphalt right there. And you can see the dump truck dumps in, loads the paver, and the paver goes for a while, then they come back in and dump more, and it just keeps scooting down the road. They did lay over 1,300 tons of asphalt in 2 days. And I don't know if you know Todd Rhodes, but it almost killed him. He said it was a lot of work for our guys and for the county crew. So I really appreciate the interlocal agreement that we did with them and the effort that everybody put in. And looking for a successful project next year, and it won't have $150,000 spending threshold on it. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a reading of resolution number 1401-0825?
Resolution number 1401-0825. A resolution of the council of the city of Shelton, Washington, amending resolution number 1391-0625 to confirm authority under RCW 35.77.020 for the 2025 West Mountain View Joint City-County paving project and granting authorization for the city manager to process necessary documents.
Thank you, Donna. We have a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 1401-0825 as presented.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Comments or questions?
I just wanted to thank Jay and your crew for doing all the work, especially increasing our road condition index and slightly, and also for the past few years for the railroad gateway project and all the things that all the work is done and keeping our city and slightly increasing and rising in the quality of streets that we provide. So once again, just thank you for the and thank you for working together cooperatively with the Mason County folks to get the best deal for us in the city.
Appreciate that. And so we had the kickoff meeting today for Olympic Highway North for the design of that. And so more good things to come next year. We got a very large state grant on that. And so the goal is to fix Olympic Highway North next year and then get some more local road paving done also.
All right. How do we get it by that 150 threshold?
It's an estimate is what the RCW says. So we did our best job in estimating the amount of materials and supplies it would take. But as Jay mentioned, sometimes you have those deviations within the asphalt itself and you want a smooth level surface. So you might be putting in a ½ inch for 300 feet just to level that out. And that starts adding up.
All right. Comments or questions? But thank you and thank Mason County staff for their hard work too. We really appreciate joining us on this and
Good people.
doing the work and saving us about $200,000, I think it wasn't it? About a $200,000 savings. All right. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 1401-0825 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. All right. Our next ordinance updating some select sections of the municipal code. Mark Ziegler has details for us.
Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council members. So this proposed ordinance has 3 different amendments within Chapter 2 of the Shelton Municipal Code. I'll start first by 2.06, which is repealing that chapter. It talks a lot about the departments and functions, and we have separate titles within that chapter, within Chapter 2 that already discussed those. So it's redundant. It was originally drafted in 1988, had an update in 2018 when we changed from the commission to the council form of government. That's been the only update since 1988. So I don't think we look at it very often, to tell you the truth. There'll probably have some updates. So I'm recommending repealing 2.06. Title 2.18 is in reference to the city manager's duties and functions. And we've talked a lot about signing authority, particularly with purchasing authority for the city manager. Right now, by resolution, the manager's signing authority is $30,000 threshold. We talked about the cost of materials, cost of supplies, and business that we're conducting on a daily basis. And it brings a lot more to the council level, slows down some of the projects that we're trying to complete. And so the proposal is to bring forward a delegated signing authority within the Shelton Municipal Code, so it's codified by the council and only changed by the council's action. Up to, or less than $50,000, $49,999 would give the city manager signing authority. Anything above that would still have to come to council. We obviously would still approve those, or council would approve those within the annual budget, regardless of the threshold of the project or purchase at the same time. So again, provide some efficiencies, take some of the administrative burden off. When they're equipment purchases and things like that, we'll certainly be briefing council, and we can certainly add that to the consent agenda or the action agenda when we believe it's important enough to broadcast this and transparently bring these items, these purchases to the council, so they can be considered in front of the public. The last title is 2.60010, which determines office hours of the city hall or civic center. Again, this has not been updated in many years, and our office hours have changed over time. So within this code, we're recommending the council give authority to the city manager to determine the office operating hours here in the civic center. Certainly, we will discuss that with the council prior to any changes, unless it's temporary closures due to staff training or an emergency of sort. And as resources allow us to maintain our office hours, certainly that will be discussed within the annual budget at the same time. So those are the three recommended changes within draft ordinance 2031-0725.
Thank you. Anyone have public comment?
No, there isn't, Mr. Mayor.
I have a reading of the ordinance number 2031-0725.
Number 2031-0725. An ordinance of the city of Shelton, Washington, repealing chapter 2.06, adding a new section 2.18.040, reordering sections 2.18.040 through 0.060, and amending section 2.60.010 of the Shelton Municipal Code related to city manager authority.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve 2031-0725 as presented.
Second.
All right, comments or questions? We've talked about this a lot, so we have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 2031-0725 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The last item, Mark.
I wanted a longer title to that ordinance, so Donna could read that, but just couldn't come up with anything else. So we'll end it with a short one here. Draft resolution 1170-0820, developed back in 2020, addressed the signing authority I referenced in the last briefing. So this is the $30,000 threshold set by resolution. This would repeal this resolution, take it off the books, reference the city code for that signing authority for the city manager.
Right. Anyone have a public comment?
No, Mr. Mayor.
May we have the last reading from Donna, our city clerk?
I have to be able to see.
Okay. Sorry.
I might have to have the new clerk come up here. Resolution number 1394. It's 0725.
Donna, if you don't mind, I can take it.
I would love that.
Okay. Resolution number 13940725, a resolution of the council of the city of Shelton, Washington, geez, maybe I can't, authorizing the repeal of resolution number 11708020, authorizing staff signing authority for contracts.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 1394-0725 as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion in multiple seconds to adopt resolution number 1394-0725 as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Mark, do you have a report for us tonight?
You know, I don't have much tonight. I'll save some comments for Don later, but I think that I'll joke and say it all pays the same. Retirement doesn't pay the same. That's what we said a lot here, between us and in closed doors, because it really does all pay the same, and the pay is that we're serving our community. And Donna did that with integrity and dedication every day, so I really appreciate her efforts.
New discussion?
I just wanted to thank Donna. Donna, you're the favorite character in this show of Shelton City Council Live. My mom tells me all the time how great you are and how you really run the city. So I just wanted to let you know that you're appreciated and we're gonna miss you. And you're a fine example of professionalism in the county and the city and of all the employees that we have here. And we're really gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I'll go next. I wrote something because I'll screw it up. Today is the last day of our incredible city clerk, Donna. As you're off on a well-deserved retirement, your professionalism, ethics, and hard work has left an undeniable mark on our community. Your dedication to serving our citizens and your willingness to help the council whenever needed have made a significant impact on all of us. It has been a pleasure working with you, and you truly will be missed. Thank you for all the years of service and being an inspiring mentor to many. Now you're making me cry. As we say goodbye to you, we also welcome Mary as our new city clerk, sitting there in the back, and we look forward to continuing the excellent work you've established. Enjoy your retirement, Donna. You will hold a special place to the city of Shelton, and we do have a cake for you in the back, so we'll bring that out shortly. Thank you. Anybody else?
If the city falls apart when you're not here, I won't be surprised because you really are the glue. And I actually feel bad for other cities that don't have a dog.
My husband is here, he might have some.
And we've not just been lucky, we've been blessed to have you. So I hope you have the most wonderful retirement because you deserve it.
Thank you very much.
You've been like the mom that keeps us all in line, come in here, sign your paperwork, all that good stuff. Don't leave. You've been fantastic and we're gonna miss you. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more with everybody else. You're gonna get missed. It's on.
Right.
Yeah, congratulations.
This is a mayor action item. Anybody in the audience want to speak to Donna?
I'd like to make a citizen, motion for Donna, from a citizen standpoint. She needs a standing ovation. She's had to deal with the reasons public. Free French fries, Donna.
All right. Okay, if no one else would like to speak, our next meeting is Tuesday, September 16th at 6 p.m. Our study session on the 9th has been canceled. This meeting is adjourned at 7 p.m. exactly. And anybody want to say a cake? I have a cake in the back. I'm gonna go get it. Start recording. Hey, Mayor.